on the brief this morning, Ghana's president-elect John Mahama has visited President Bola Tinubu at the presidential villa in Abuja. This was disclosed by the special assistant to the president on social media, Olusegun Dada. Mahama's visit comes weeks after he won Ghana's presidential election, earning him a return to the seat of power 8 years after leading the West African nation.
And from the villa, we move to the South-South, where the Edo State House of Assembly has passed a resolution suspending all chairmen and vice chairmen of the 18 local government councils of the state for 2 months. The House also mandated leaders of the legislative arms to take over leadership of their respective councils. The governor of the state, Monday Ukpevolo, had written a petition to the House over the refusal of the chairmen to submit financial records to their local governments to the state government.
That is why the debate is on local government autonomy. Yes,
wow,
indeed.
We're not surprised. Jeffrey,
this is an interesting development in Edo State. Okay, let's bring you all the stories. The economies of West African state has intensified its effort on practical arrangement for the launch of the single currency for the region, following a consensus reached in the implementation of the directives issued at the 65th ordinary session. The ECOWAS bloc of 15 countries had previously planned to launch the currency in 2020, but the coronavirus pandemic caused the delays. The new launch year is now 2027, and that's our own election year.
Indeed. And let's go outside our shores now. The Democratic Republic of Congo has filed a criminal case against European subsidiaries of tech giant Apple, accusing them of illegally using blood minerals in its supply chain. The Republic alleges that Apple has bought contraband supplies from the country's conflict-wracked East and Rwanda zones, in which the materials are alleged to be mined illegally and then integrated into global supply chains before ending up in tech devices.
That's why they refer to it as blood minerals. Let's talk about sports. Real Madrid attacker Vinicius Jr. has won the FIFA Best Men's Player of the Year award, while a Barcelona midfielder Aitana Bonmati picked up the women's prize for the second time. Vinicius succeeds Lionel Messi as the FIFA Best Men's Player after the Argentinian scooped up the last 2 editions of the award. The forward scored 24 goals and racked up 11 assists in 39 matches across all competitions last season as he led Real Madrid to a La Liga and Champions League double.
And in entertainment, Nigerian Afrobeat maverick Burna Boy has announced that his 8th studio album, No Sign of Weakness, will be released next year. No Sign of Weakness will arrive 2 years after his last studio album, I Told Them. And speaking of Burna Boy, he was also trending just in the last 24 hours for being romantically linked to a beautiful American singer. Of course, perhaps we'll have that confirmed in the coming days.
Well, Burna Boy is always keeping his love life under wraps until we get to find out. So whatever it is, good for him. He's a young man. He has time. How young is he now? I can't remember. But I think he's in his 30s. So he should start wrapping up as soon as possible. But well, hey, let's bring you up to speed with what you have been saying beside what we're telling you. And we go to our social media of choice, which is X. But don't forget, if you're in that traffic outbound Lagos, please, our WhatsApp number is open. Send the video and or pictures, send it to us. We'll amplify it so that others who are trying to fly that road will make a turn, maybe for a better time, or look for another alternative route to get to where they are going to. But let's get to this single currency to be launched by ECOWAS. This has been in the works for a long time. Africa in itself has been trying to do this. We have Euro for the European bloc. Africa has not been able, for whatever reason. I don't know, when it comes to things that unify us like this, there's always one challenge or the other. And it's going to be very good for the continent at the end of the day, because I don't know why we're doing business with Ghana, we're doing it with dollars. We're doing business with Niger, we're doing it in dollars. So all of this...
Or you could even talk about travel within the, you need
visa to travel within Africa. And it's easier for some people in Europe to travel in Africa than you, as an African, to travel within Africa.
And it speaks to a lot, to business, doing business within the continent as well.
Doesn't make sense. Okay, this is what your response is. Adiola, Adiolu says, Nothing should be like ECOWAS single currency. It should be Africa single currency. I kind of agree.
Absolutely.
I kind of agree.
But let's even start with the, ECOWAS single currency in the first place. The fact that it's been in the works for so many years and it's still, being a dream, speaks to how even an African single currency will go through if that were to be considered.
Let's just adopt the model and change it to something else.
Let's see what If Consult is saying. Would that help the Naira? I doubt it. They should first open borders before talking about currency. An interesting point there also, Jeffrey.
Absolutely. Break down those barriers, okay? If Consult, I guess that's what your name is.
No, Ex-Chuku is what you're taking next.
Okay, Ex-Chuku, apologies. Modern rails transportation connecting all ECOWAS nations will significantly boost trade and development. Eco currency is acceptable.
And Mopito says, just adopt Naira as the ECOWAS currency. No need to invent a new one. After all, 3 countries in the ECOWAS bloc already use it as a legal form of exchange. Well, is that true? Is Naira accepted in all of the other West African countries?
Well, I don't know about that yet. You just exchange and exchange. Like talking about Nigerian Senate moving to ban use of dollar and other foreign currencies for transactions. This has been on and on and on and on. We keep hearing this over and over again. When is it going to be really implemented, and what are the modalities, and what are the reasons people even give to use foreign currency within our country to do business? It's really warning. Okay, let's find out what you were saying. At the patience, you say would be a nice thing to do actually. As small as Cotonou is, once you get to their border, you convert all your Naira to Sefa. You can't trade with any other currency except Sefa. Here in Nigeria, there are places they don't accept Naira. You must pay in dollars.
And the light says...
That's shameful.
Yeah. The light says, policies like this often sound good in theory, but can get tricky in execution. What do you think, bold economic strategy or potential roadblock? Well, that's not quite clear, but Jeffrey, you have the next one.
All right, Stephen says the legislation is long overdue. No sane nation allows the dollarization of their economy, a situation where you lose economic autonomy. Imagine UK, US, other larger economies allow such in their country. Impossible. I'm glad the Nigerian Senate is making this move. All right.
Perhaps the Nigerian Senate and the other, blocks of the elite class should hold a mirror to themselves, because these, hard currencies are spent in those spaces in very expensive schools. Some expensive schools in Nigeria today, dollar is the currency accepted for payment of school fees and all other transactions.
I'm happy you raised that point. When it comes to this issue of dollar and all of that, politicians, let me say some politicians, because not all of them. I almost said most, but I don't have the fact. But a lot of politicians are responsible for our dollar rise. As we have noticed that as soon as fact is shared, like the record fact that we had, just 1.7 trillion, as soon as fact is shared,
then the currency takes a nosedive.
It goes up immediately. That means state governments are converting these monies to dollar for whatever reason. Come on. So when we say these things, point to ourselves as well. We are responsible for our own problem, and together we have to solve it.
And we're beginning with our political class. Commentaries coming in from outside.
Beginning with our political class.
Hey, we must do right by ourselves.
Okay, we'll take a quick break. When we come back, the budget will be presented by the president, hopefully today. 13 trillion is the deficit. It will be funded by borrowing, according to the finance minister and the budget office. That's the conversation we'll be having next. Join us again.